Like,
Mine's rolling around. I do. Good. Okay, the time is 6:34, and I'm going to call the May 24th school committee meeting to order. And our first order of business is reorganization of the committee. So I will open it up to nomination for chairperson.
I don't know if it's kosher or not, but I enjoy being chair and I don't mind doing it again. So I'll throw myself out there if you guys are into it. And if not, that's okay too. You'd like to do that?
Well, somebody would have to make the motion.
I will make the motion.
Well, as long as there's.
I don't know. Is there any discussion? Is everyone?
We'll do the
Questions,
motion
comments,
second and then
concerns?
discussion.
As long as it's not.
It's not you.
So Audrey, what's the motion that you're making?
I'll make the motion for Jen Bartos to be chair
Any
for
second?
do I need to say a specific?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? With no discussion, all in favor? All right. Unanimous. So Jen Bartos is again the chairperson, and I will now turn it over to her.
Thanks very much. And if you guys have any comments or feedback on what I can do better for this year, I gladly would welcome them. I think I'm making my voice today. All right, and next up is vice chair. Do we have any nominations or self-nominations?
I mean, same thing. I don't mind continuing. It's totally fine by me if that's wanted by others. If someone else wants to jump in.
Yeah, fine by me. I mean, I'll make a motion to nominate Stephanie for vice chair.
Second. Those in favor? Aye. Congratulations. All right, that was pretty easy. So, next we need to go through the committees. So we are down one person, which we'll have to talk about a little bit later on. So I don't know, we're gonna have our meeting, our breakouts tonight. So I was wondering if we, keep the same committees standing as they are for this week and then revisit this when we get the fifth and final member, or if we want to reorganize them, I'm just not sure how we can pick it up exactly.
I think we should keep the same person and then maybe going forward with the change to
So, I've been told that there's possibly one person that might be interested. And then, I don't know, I was talking to Kathy Kelly Regan yesterday after a town meeting, and she was saying that we should try to get, if there's just like one person that we're super, that is ready to go, we can push that name along, right? Glenn, to you guys, and then you would make the appointment. It would be for a one-year term. To the next election, to next May. So if anyone has anybody, or I think somebody, anybody that's on for sure a little bit more, but she's pretty. Yeah, the one person that I found that I reached out to got a hard pass.
So,
I'd also suggest, since we're on, if anybody's interested, they can reach out to
Yeah.
Jackie. It's J Coretta, JKARETA at Granby Schools ma.org. .net, sorry, .org. .net. So if anybody who's watching or is wondering and they're interested, you can reach out either via phone to the superintendent's office or to Jackie directly. And we'll make sure that the committee gets anybody who reaches out. So I think we can kind of have a two-pronged approach if anybody reaches out to us, but also if people are reaching out to you individually. And
You can
then,
also reach out to Kathy Kelly Reagan
Yep.
directly as well.
yeah.
Should we do the Jen thing now? Yeah. So, speaking of members, Jen, would you come forward, please? I just want to have a better proper send-off from last time. Thank you. Thank you. You're still going to come, right?
oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh, you
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. It's been a pleasure.
Thank
I know you're not going far.
Thank you for all your work. You don't want to run your equipment or anything, do you?
She's got her Granby blue on though.
I know, the blue
She's-
and white.
Yes.
I was spending some of that work today. Not planned. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, Jen Millett's last meeting was our last meeting and we had intended to do something and then things happened, so we wanted to have her back here tonight. So again, thank you for all the years of service.
Okay.
So we're gonna, just so I'm clear, we're gonna move all the subcommittee appointments to our next meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just see if
Yep.
we can get somebody by that next meeting.
Yep.
We'll keep them the way that they are for now. Okay.
No, I prefer not to give it up anyway.
Oh, okay. So that one's fun.
Somebody really wanted it, but yeah, they need tomorrow, and it would be for another, months, so we're gonna see.
Okay. Well, that's good then. I was thinking about that because we definitely didn't have to, but as long as you do that, then that makes the most sense. All right, next is the consent agenda. Minutes from May 10th. Has everyone had a chance to read them? Any questions, comments? Adjustments? All right, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from May 10th.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. And then, next one, 69 and 71, we just signed them. I'll make a motion to approve the 69 and 71. Second? I'll second. All in favor? Aye. All right, visitor comments. Any citizen wishing to speak before the committee must sign in with the administrative assistant prior to the opening of the regular session of the school committee. The visitor will identify themselves by name and address and shall speak for no longer than 3 minutes. For anyone who is unable to sign in ahead of time, we ask that you clearly state your name and address so that this information can be included in the record for the meeting. Do we have anybody up there? Alex?
Alex, do we have any visitors who would like to speak? I think though you're on the panelists.
Yeah, we need to go to attendees.
Yeah, but they didn't raise their hand right now.
Oh, okay. I can't see.
She's already here. Well, Diane wants to speak.
No, Ally's gonna speak soon,
Yeah.
so, okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Marcus is not here. He's not online. Cheryl's not here. So we'll keep just going moving forward.
So, as you all know, we continue to try to showcase some of the work that we're doing in the public schools. I know we've been pretty heavy with the junior, senior high school. Have started to make some inroads at East Meadow, and I anticipate in next year we'll certainly have some work to showcase there. But you may remember Ms. Hurd came early this year. She is one of the teachers collaborating on the Daily Dino. We showed the video, I think, at our last meeting that they had done about what the Granby Public Schools mean to you. And she's here today to talk a little bit about some of the coding work that's being done in her media classes. So, Molly, do you want to come on up?
I'm in the Zoom. I don't think I'm able to share my screen in the Zoom, so.
And you can take that chair right there if you'd like.
So I was talking to Ms. Jordan about, oh, I'm a panelist. I was talking to Ms. Jordan about what my students are doing right now. I don't need to start my video, right? I don't need to start my video.
No video, no audio.
About what my students are doing, because I'm going to be having my 8th graders showcase their work in later on in June. Sorry, share screen. Yay! Okay. And so she suggested that I come and let all of you know what we're doing, because it's really interesting and cool. I think so. And I'm really proud of the work that my students are doing. They're doing some really complicated things. And a lot of them at the beginning of the year always say, there's no way I can do this. I can't do this. This is completely different and new, and end up doing really interesting things. So coding in media 7 and 8. Keep it pretty brief. So in Media 7, students are introduced to the idea of coding, debugging, learning a new and different language in a way that is not similar to how humans communicate. And they do that by learning to design websites using HTML and CSS, which are both two coding languages that are used to design websites. This is some student work. This is an example. They made this website about sports. This is part of their code. This is their HTML code that they wrote. So they learned how to turn one into the other. An entirely new language for a lot of them. This is the other part of their code. This is the CSS code. This is the style code that they learn how to do. Students also learn about how to find and cite images correctly using particular websites that allow them to find images that are licensed by the Creative Commons so that they're not infringing on copyright. Then that's the coding that the 7th graders do. The 8th graders do things that are a little bit more complicated. They learn to code games with some basic Python, and they learn how to code apps with JavaScript. And right now we're nearing the end of our app development unit. And they're going to be presenting to their classmates at the end of next week and to their peers and other teachers on June 6th. And having a live audience really makes things a little bit more substantial for them. So here I've got some examples. So this is an example of one of the games that students coded with Python. I use a program called Ozaria, and they learn how to use very basic Python sequences. The main thing that they learn in this unit is how to use something called a loop, which allows you to tell a computer to do this one thing over and over again several times. It's a very basic coding concept. So that's the main thing that they learn when they're programming with Python is how to use a loop. And then this is what they're doing right now. They're using JavaScript to make these interactive apps. And in this unit, they learn about two other coding concepts. One, a variable, which allows them to keep track, or allows their program to keep track of information and return to it and change it as they see fit. And then the other one is a conditional, which is if this happens, then do this, otherwise do this. And so here I've got the link to this one that these students did. Oh, sorry, I'm okay, okay. As long as it loads. Right, so these kids are really passionate about dogs, so they wanted to make it all about dogs, so you can go through this. There's a little quiz. If you get it right, then it tells you correct. It keeps track of your score. You have to get all the right answers to continue on. So they're doing this for all of these different dog breeds. They're not quite finished yet. It's a lot of code that goes into it. My other students last semester created, this is just another one, they created like a mindfulness and wellness app. I had a couple of students who did that. I had some students who created an app on like, safe relationships and how to communicate if you're thinking about dating people. So the kids get this opportunity to create things that are really useful to them. Here, this one. And it'll load quickly. Yeah. Using this wellness app to help people with any issues. If you're happy, they want to know what keeps you happy. If you're not great, what can make your day better. They have like wellness quizzes and check-ins. And personal hygiene checklists. So they put a lot of thought and effort into how they could use what they're making to make people happier and make them feel better and more comfortable in their school. And yes, that's my student work. That's what we're doing. It's really cool. If you want to come by on June 6th, then take a look at what something is made. I invite you to do it. That's it.
Anyone have questions for Molly or?
Is that like after, is that kind of what they're culminating project for the year?
Yeah, well, it's their culminating project for the unit. And then for the year, we'll do kind of a big year-end review over the next, like, the week before we finish up. But each unit has one big culminating project, and this is the one we do.
And how many would they do during the course of the year?
About 3. So I sometimes 4. It depends on, the class size, how quickly we're able to get through the materials. So last semester I was able to do 4. And I alternate with my 8th graders. We do coding, and then we do media digital literacy, coding, media digital literacy. So their first project for their Python work was the game that they designed. That was their big final culminating project for that. And then for this, it's the app that they're designing. My 7th graders are right now working on their final project, and that is they made a website about a topic of their choice near the beginning. We did a unit on news and digital literacy and information literacy, which took us through most of the semester, and now they're finishing by designing the website about news and information literacy that I'm hoping to maybe share with some elementary school teachers to, give them a real audience as well. Okay.
Any other questions?
I have no questions, but thank you for sharing. I love seeing what you guys are doing. It's so exciting to have something so new. Like we haven't, ever seen something like this. I think that's really awesome to share what you guys are doing over there and get people excited. And kids are coming over there soon to see opportunity of what they can do. It's really special.
Absolutely, they get catch on to stuff so quickly, and it's just really amazing to see what they can create. They're so smart.
Yeah, and I hope people are starting to see some of the connections that we're making when Mr. Kearns was here with the AP Computer Science principles, We've talked about the cybersecurity class that will start next year. We've talked about automation and robotics that's available in 7th and 8th grade. And then they're getting coding as part of their media. So we're like connecting all this information technology work that, I think Granby is in a really good place in that work. And I think building up on that and, not to look too far behind the curtain, but we see this as a potential area where we could be building out like an innovation pathway, where students are following a sequence of courses, potentially earning experience and job skills that we could then hopefully set them up with internships in their upper grade levels, 11th and 12th grade, based on needs of business partners and other community organizations in this area. So, and like Molly said, it's 7th and 8th grade. This is open to everyone, and I think we're also thinking, how do we build up more students who feel prepared and ready to take an AP Computer Science Principles class, and without exposing them in the younger grades, we're not going to have that. We're not going to have the enrollment that we hope to continue to maintain that. So that's a little bit of a look at the big picture.
I love when we do these though. I think it's Audrey that's in things that connect what's happening in school. I really enjoy that.
Yes, and I didn't want to say it again, but yes. I was refraining.
So thank you so much, Molly.
Thanks, Molly.
Appreciate your work. And is there a specific time on June 6th, or is it just whatever your blocks are?
During the block, so that's 11:26 to 12:16.
Those school times. 12, 16. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, can we promote Ally for a donation?
There she is. Hi, Ally.
Hi everyone, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. I hope you all can hear me okay. It's a bit scratchy on our end from hearing everyone. So I am presenting a donation. Molly Pinkney was recognized, I'm sure you heard or saw on Instagram. She was recognized by the Western Mass Surprise Squad. So she is a recipient of a donation that I need to formally accept, that I need the school committee to approve. The episode actually airs tomorrow, which I'm really excited about because nobody really knows what it looks like yet. A couple kiddos were interviewed. Molly was interviewed. It was a pretty stealth moment for Molly. She had no clue. It was incredible. I don't know how we kept that secret throughout the entire school until a half an hour before, but it was awesome. The whole school was in on it. It was really only supposed to be about 30 kids in total, and then it morphed into 300 and something kids and the entire staff. So it was an incredible moment. So the Western Mass Surprise Squad gives a donation to Molly and to a donation to the school, which is really cool. They had reached out and asked what she would like for her classroom. I suggested a surround sound system for her classroom because she loves to listen to music and get the kids out of their seats and dance. But they came up with something a whole heck of a lot better that Molly is able to use and actually give back to her students. So I am here to ask for your approval to accept the donation, to have that deposited into our gift account.
Excellent. Can
can you say how much the donation is for? I don't see anything in our folder. Do you guys see anything?
No.
Yes, the donation is in the amount of $500.
Excellent. Can I have a motion to accept the donation?
I think it's a motion to accept the $500 donation to the Western Mass Supply School.
Can I have a second?
Oh, 1 second.
Any other further comments or discussion?
I think that's awesome.
So great. The video on Instagram is amazing.
Allie, do you know when it's airing? Is it morning, evening tomorrow? Do you know that?
I don't. I hope morning and evening.
Yeah.
I'm sure we won't miss a beat though when we find out if it's posted. I'm sure the students will be the first to let us know.
All those in favor of accepting the donation? Aye. Approved unanimously.
Thank you. And I just want to thank Allie for this. I think behind the scenes, there was a lot of work that went into this between the nomination, the prep, the setup, getting everyone together. So thank you, Allie, for that. It was a great event. And I think, again, another way to showcase a lot of the good that's happening in the Granby Public Schools.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Ashley. Okay, with that, we're going to adjourn to the work groups. We've got Community Relations Subcommittee and Goals and Evaluation. The time is 7:01. What do we think? Do you want 45 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour? How much time do you think you guys need for goals and evaluation?